Well, welcome back to another case study. We've got Vivaro coming. It's had a new starter motor on it. It's coming up on the dash that you've got a charging fault. So let's have a look into it, see what we can find. This was diagnosed by the RAC, which not too bad because the RAC have got a warranty on the van, so they're actually paying for it. So they diagnosed a starter motor, they took them straight to a garage, told them to put a starter motor on it, didn't fix it. Customer had already stated that it comes up with a battery charging fault. Also, the power steering feels a bit funny. If he bump starts it, it runs, it does everything. As soon as he turns it off, he's got nothing. So, being a charging fault and a starter motor fault, it's more than likely going to be a main live or something like that. But it's been misdiagnosed. It's been taken to a garage. They've just fitted it on there. They've done what they were told to do by the RAC who's paying the bill. So, you know, what can you do? So we're going to get into it, see what we can find, and yeah, let's go. So, you might think that because this is just a basic starter motor fault, a normal garage should just be able to work it out. But the majority of them have got bitten so many times by modern cars, you know, something slightly different. Alternators, you know, I've had loads of people turn up. I've had a new alternator fitted, garage just fitted it, the battery light come on, and now they can't work it out. So, the customer doesn't want to pay the garage has fitted one aftermarket. And it'll be a basic Ford Focus with a limb bus controlled alternator, you know. For the ECU, straight to the alternator, just has a limb bus, and they talk backwards and forwards to each other. It's got temperature sensors in there, charge rate in there, you know. It knows everything. And if that is not set up for your ECU, it's just a generic alternator, it's never going to work. So then all of a sudden the garage has fitted it for nothing, probably lost money on, so definitely lost money on the fitting, lost money on the part, lost faith in their customer. So yeah, you can understand why they just go, nah, we'll do your service work. Any problems, especially with this one, where the RAC, if now they diagnose it themselves, they've already paid for the starter motor, now they're going to say to them, well, we want you to diagnose it, and it better fix it, you know? So why would they want to get involved in it? So I can understand it. You know, starter motor faults, you got stop-start, you got clutch pedal faults, you got, you know, all sorts, what can stop a starter motor working. So, you know, yeah, it's not as easy as people do think that, yeah, it's a starter, it's Morris Minor, you had a live, it was bolted to the engine, as long as that was earthed, one little wire, cranked over a wallop, you know. Every mechanic in the garage knew that. But now, they can catch a cold so easily. So, right, let's get a quick look at this. 12.4 volts in the battery. Let's get a diagram up, see what and where everything is, and then yeah, let's have a quick look. So before we even pulled up any diagrams or anything, thought we'd have a quick basic check. First check you should really do anyway, volt drop testing. So the way this works, so to confirm that you've got good earth there when it's trying to crank over, all you got to do is put your multimeter in line from literally one onto your earth terminal and one onto your earth of your engine, main earth. So that should give no reading. Basically, it's not doing anything, you know, that's all connected. You can't test any voltage across it unless the earth's bad, and then you'll see a reading on the meter. So being earth and live, you've got one circuit going out, it's all going to be 12 volt, literally from the positive of the battery, right the way through the starter motor, right the way back up to the earth, battery voltage, that's going to be one complete 12 volt circuit. So, if for some reason you add resistance in an earth terminal, even where it's bolted onto the engine, you had high resistance on there, and it was dropping 6 volt out of that 12 volt circuit. If you go either side of that resistance, which is just going to be a corroded bolt or something like that, if you go either side of it, the 6 volts, which is losing, if you put your meter either side of it, 6 volts, so 6 volt will be going through the wire, 6 volt will show through the meter because it is a 12 volt system. So, takes a little bit of getting your head around, but that is how you do volt drop testing. Go from earth to earth. If it's only got 10 volts going down there when it should be 12, 2 volts will show up on your meter. Same on the live side of it, go straight to the live terminal with your starter motor. If you've got any voltage drop 3 volt drop, 9 volts go to your starter motor, 3 volts will show on your meter because you've got the voltage in the battery showing. So let's show you this and we'll go from there. Right, let's just show you this then. So we've connected that up, doing a volt drop test. If we look at the meter, so that's just set on 20 volts. As we crank it over, there we go, 11.5 volts going through the meter, which means we've got no earth, or half a volt earth. So ignition on, crank, and off. And then crank, and off. So that means we've got a bad earth between the battery. All we're doing is straight from the battery straight to the engine casing. So we don't know where that fault is now. A lot of people, again, let's just bolt another earth to it. We ain't going to do that. We're not going to just take every earth off and clean it. We're going to work through a logical process to try and find out exactly where that fault is. So we're going to get it stripped a little bit so we can get to all the earth points, and then I'll show you what we're finding. Right, so we've sort of worked out where all the earths go. When doing volt drop testing, you want to go to literally the extremities that you can. That means on the starter motor live, you want to be going directly onto the threaded part. Will go straight into the starter motor, not on the nut, not on the terminal, straight onto there, because the fault could be the threads on that nut. They could be corroded and it's not getting through and going onto there. So yeah, you literally start and straight onto the leaded part of the terminal, not the bolted part, the actual leaded part. So let's just show you what I mean, and yeah, might make it a bit more obvious. To start with, we're going to go straight to the leaded part. All right, crank it. 13 volts. So that is straight to the lead part of the terminal, lead part of the battery terminal. So now we're going to go to the next part, which is the bolted terminal. And again, crank, 11 volts. Then we can come along to the thread, and again, 11 volts. And then we'll go on to this main plate. And again, there we go. But let me just show you. So we'll put our lead straight onto the earth plate, and then on to the battery terminal. Okay, crank. Right, so we've got no volt drop, definitely between the terminal and that plate. So we know we're okay from here onwards. So now what we're going to do, we're going to use this and we're going to work our way down. This is your braided earth strap. This is your engine. And wherever the starter is, starter's up there. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go straight onto the engine. Bottle on there. Oh, look at that. Okay, crank it. There we go, 11 volts. So the engine's definitely lost it. Now we're going to go a bit further back. So that was onto the box. Now we've got this mount here. Straight onto there. Crank. 11 volts. So the main earth strap is this. So if we just get a bit of a wiggle on there. And again, no voltage. A bit closer. That's how close you can get to it. There is, right on the end where that it mounts the gearbox. We're going right in there. And again, no voltage. So we have got as close as we can to the box. We're literally going to go 1 millimeter over onto there. And again. And there we go. Full voltage. So when we connect to here, it's 12 volts. When we connect to here, 0 volts coming through. So we know right in that part there, that's where the fault's going to be. So we're going to unbolt that, clean it up and put it back together. So we've identified exactly where we have got a full 12 volt drop, which is going to be on that thing. Chance of having 2 faults, pretty remote, but it can be. You know, the load is coming from this end. We've got a fault, it stops there. We can't put a load on the rest of it until we've cleaned it up, got a good connection on it. It could go a bit further, and you know, now the load's trying to go on it. It could be somewhere else, but very unlikely. So I'm going to get that off. I'll show you a picture of it once I've unbolted it. I'm going to give it a clean up, put it back on. Pretty sure that's going to be the end of it. So let's have a look. So there we go. All that corrosion down this side of it. All this corrosion down here. On the end of this box here, it is just as bad, I think. As you can see there, can't get a picture of it. But even worse is, so, and look at the state of that bolt, all corroded. So a new bolt. So a new bolt, we're going to stick a new bolt in it, we're going to clean them up, and I would think we're going to turn the key and it's going to start. So let's try that. Right, so still got dirty hands. Put a new bolt in it, cleaned that up, that's all good. I've connected the meter up. Let's see what that shows. This is the first time doing it, and I can assure you I haven't tried it at all. But what I can assure you is, if this doesn't work, I'm not putting it in the video. But let's go try it. So I will show you the meter while we do it. So it was doing it as soon as we turn the ignition on. It'll go to about 4 volts anyway. So as long as we don't really get any voltage down there, I would think, right, ignition on, no voltage. It's out gear. Oh, that doesn't sound good, does it? Really? So it's cranking over now. It's doing everything. Starter motor's not engaging. Oh, the starter motor's duff. I don't know. I didn't fit it. That was the fault. This is what you get when you don't get the fault in first and you have to take over somebody else's job. Have they not fitted that starter motor right? Is it sat on the skew? Is it wrong? Was the old one better? Oh. Beautiful. Well, I was right. Did have volt drop. We had no engine earth at all. That's why it was showing up, you know, near enough battery voltage. So we've done all that. And now we've got this fault to contend with. It's not our job. But I'm going to have a quick look, see if I can see the starter motor. See if I can see what's going on. Have they fitted it badly? I don't know. But luckily, so if I weren't doing this video, and then I go across and say, yeah, I found all these faults, but we've got another fault, would they believe me? I don't know. Beautiful. Right, let's see if I can see it. Oh, so I've had a look at the starter motor on it. It is bang on square. That's all good. It's a pucker, genuine Lucas unit. It's not a cheap aftermarket thing. It looks good. What's the chances we've just got one little bad point on the flywheel and it just happens to be sat in that? So we're going to spin the engine quickly, see if it catches, and go from there. But it's weird. So let's have a look. So we'll try to turn the engine over. Nothing's worked on it. Starter's just not engaging. I phoned the original garage who fitted the starter motor. Got through to the receptionist. Sure, that car's got a lot of wiring on it and stuff. So this isn't anything to do with wiring or anything like that. This is down to the starter motor fault. So, well, we fitted one of them. So, can I just speak to your mechanic? Not saying that she doesn't know, but you know, he'll know this noise. He's come on the phone. Hi, mate, how you getting on? See, we found a bad earth. Yep, no problem. How'd you do that? Blah, blah. So I said, watch the video. I said, can I just run you through this sound? Oh, it's all flywheel or ring gear, isn't it? I said, exactly. I said, so it's, yep, no problem. Get it back over to us. We'll get that sorted out. So that's our bit done. Quite a basic fault, but it shows you how easy you can trip over and just miss one little thing. But with logical testing, once again, go backwards, start from one point, work your way back. You can find exactly where it is. None of this, let's fit that, let's clean that, let's do this, let's fit that, let's try this. So, yeah. So, hope you enjoyed that. So, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, stick the old doodah down there. Like, subscribe, share, do all the... So, Sunday night, Barney's got his first case study going on, so go and check that out. Give him a bit of love. Tell him what you think of it. That mine's better. That's what we need him to think. And, yeah, thanks so much. We'll see you then.